Yo, it's like everywhere I go, I see more and more rage bait. And I don't know who started this trend of rage bait. I don't know why it's become so popular and so frequent. But you'll see people just post things that are just cap. Or even in the comment section, you'll just see these bots start fighting for no reason. It's because they just start these pointless arguments where people just so easily get rage baited, and sometimes it's so obvious but people still fall for it, but other times it's not so obvious and you can think someone's being serious, but regardless of the situation, we gotta make sure we never fall for the rage bait. You could literally be watching a post on TikTok about gardening, bro, and then in the comment section you can just see like a bot say something like gardening is for bitches, and people will lose their shit on this dude, right? And justifiably so. It's like some people just like to garden because it gives them peace of mind. Some people like to plant flowers and to look after them, whatever the case may be. If you're into that, then you're into that. But also at the same time, it's like the rage bait is so obvious, but some people are so blind to it because their emotions get in the way once they feel like they get attacked that they can't see clearly. And this is just one example, but in so many ways, bro, people get rage baited in real life and also on social media. And you just gotta realize, bro, that like it is just not worth it being triggered. Like, you can't, if something triggers you, you can't help but be triggered, but you can definitely choose what you do with how you react to being triggered. You know what I mean? And some people just, when they get triggered, they choose to engage in the rage bait. And then it's an endless cycle of being rage baited, bro. And if somebody's trying to rage bait you and they see you getting mad, they're not gonna let up. They're gonna keep rage baiting you. But the whole thing, like the gag of the situation is that if you don't engage with these people, then you keep your peace of mind and they end up wasting their time. So it's really not worth it. And there are literal bots. The whole purpose of these bots is to rage bait people. Like, is to leave these comments, right? Maybe it's some program or something, but I do know that there are people on accounts specifically just there to get engagement. And a lot of that engagement is rage bait. And a lot of people fall for the rage bait, bro. And not even just on social media, even in real life. In real life, bro, you will encounter people that will try to rage bait you and will try to make you act out of character. But sometimes it's super easy to fall for the bait too. You gotta be really conscious. You gotta have self-control. But it pays off not falling for their bullshit, bro. And if somebody's trying to rage bait you in real life, bro, literally the worst thing you can do is fall for it. Because just think about it, bro. Think about the scenario of somebody trying to rage bait you. If you actually do fall for the rage bait, you play into their hand. You basically are being controlled by them. And I'm not even trying to sound like some type of guru, because I know we've all heard that before, that like, oh, if you let somebody make you angry, then you let them control you. But like, low key, there's some truth in that saying though, bro. Because what happens if you don't get angry and their whole purpose is to make you angry? Like, what happens if you just don't get angry? You don't fall for the rage bait. Then it's kind of awkward. Then they're over here trying to make you act out of character. And as a result, they're probably gonna get angry because of the dissatisfaction of them not being able to trigger you. Because first of all, if somebody's trying to trigger you, maybe you guys are in an argument, chances are they're trying to trigger you because you've triggered them unintentionally. A lot of arguments kind of start like that, where out of nowhere, it kind of seems like somebody just starts going after your neck, but you don't really realize that it's because maybe you've offended them, right? Which maybe it could be your fault or not. It depends. But if you were trying to help them and maybe they took it as an insult and they start trying to come at your neck now, just now, like, zoom out of that, bro, and look at the situation and ask yourself, if you don't fall for it, then this person has to sit in their own dissatisfaction. their own anger and their own sadness. And it's like now they are kind of forced to reflect because they try to pass that negativity onto you, like that anger, that emotion onto you, and you just rejected it. You just weren't having it. So now it kind of leaves that other person in an awkward kind of state where it's like they want to have somebody to argue with, to go back and forth with, but you're just not engaging. So now what are they forced to do? They're forced to sit with themselves and to, think about the scenario, think about the situation, and hopefully you're dealing with somebody who's like accountable and, who isn't entitled. Then maybe they can realize, okay, I was tripping and the problem is resolved, right? And even you, that pulling back and not engaging in an argument and not engaging in like a fight, it also gives you time to think over your own actions, to kind of like analyze. Bro, I was trying to say examine and analyze, and then it just didn't work, right? But anyways, it gives you time to examine yourself and to see if maybe you did step out of bounds, maybe you did offend this person in a way that you shouldn't have, right? So really, the best scenario for rage bait is just to not engage with it, no matter the situation you're in. Now, that's much, much easier said than done, bro. Even I fall for rage bait. I know you watching this, you fall for rage bait, you're gonna fall for rage bait. We're all gonna fall for rage bait. But this is just something that's good to keep in our mind, to like, when we remember it, to try and keep ourselves grounded and to remind ourselves what the best course of action is, But some people have just mastered the art of rage baiting and have become pros at it. So that when we get hit by some of their techniques, bro, it doesn't matter what the best course of action is. Sometimes we just have to engage, it feels like. But, it is what it is. Let's just try not to fall for it. But I hope you guys liked the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.